Good morning, everybody. And when I say morning, I literally mean morning, because if we have a look over here, I don't know if you can see my clock, but it is 10 to 4 in the morning. Now, I don't know what woke me, perhaps God, and for this purpose. But so let's see how we go. Recently, I posted on a couple of Facebook groups an update on the fact that I had been. Oh, hold on, Miss Pippin has arrived. You can't miss out, can you, baby? On the fact that I had been doing the Horner Bible reading system, which I have now been doing for 120 days. Last night I reached 120 days, which is 4 months, and that means, well, I'm jumping ahead. So I put this post on Facebook, on several Facebook groups, and several ladies had asked about what this system was. And so I thought, well, I'll do this video just to explain it, because trying to write it out would just be ridiculous. So Miss Pippin is giving me a bit of a massage right now. Thank you, baby. You're so lovely, aren't you? Yes, you are. So yes, let me give you a bit of a walkthrough on what this system is. So this is the Bible that I use, which is the New King James. And when I read about this system, one of the things that they suggested is that you do your readings in the one translation. Don't jump from translation to translation, because it can become confusing, and I can understand that. So I chose to do it in my New King James Bible, and it's the large print, which is good, because I do these readings of a night time, and usually I only have my lamp on, so rather than my overhead light. So it's a lot easier if she wants to get on my lap. All right, hop on the lap. There you go. Hop up there. Hey? You're being very difficult. Good girl. Now all everybody's going to see is black fur. So we'll move this over here. Yes, oh gosh, I'm all over the place here. I apologise, but she's not making it very easy. But this is her spot, isn't it, baby? There we go. Now you're a happy kitty. All right, so let me just show you what happens. I'll just show you this first bookmark. So there are 10 bookmarks, and they're divided up into the books of the Bible. And this is how they were on the internet, on the internet site that I found. What I was doing was I was actually looking for Bible reading plans because I edit my church's newspaper. So, and I like to put daily reading plans in for our congregation. And so I was looking for different reading plans, and I happened upon the Horner Bible reading system accidentally. And it was created by Professor Grant Horner, and you can look it up on the internet and find out a little bit about it. And one of the things that he does recommend, which some of the ladies who on the groups that I posted to did say when they looked it up, they read this too, and that is that you try it for 30 days and see if it works for you. If it works for you, continue, well and good. If it doesn't, that's fine, because it's not something that will work for everybody, because it is a discipline. Because basically you are reading 10 chapters of the Bible every single day, and it's a system that does not end. So you don't get to the end of it and say, yay, I've done it. You don't reach the end, because this is a system that just continues and continues and continues. And Professor Horner, he wrote that he had been doing this system since 1984. So that's over 30 years. And he was still doing it. And one of the things that he also said was that you never read the same series of 10 chapters again. You never repeat the same 10 chapters in order. It's always going to be different, and I'll try and explain why. Okay, so you have these 10 bookmarks that have the books of the Bible on. And so let me just show you bookmark number 8. Sorry, baby girl. And so that's got a lot of books on the Bible. And this one's going to take 249 days to read through every chapter of all of those books. Some are quicker and some are faster. So Psalms, for instance, that's the only book for this bookmark, that's the only book you read is Psalms. And that takes you 150 days because obviously there are 150 chapters in Psalms. Let's have a look at another one. This one here, bookmark 5, you've got Job, Ecclesiastes and Song of Songs, and that's going to take you 62 days to read through those. And so what happens is, starting at the beginning, you start with bookmark 1 and you read one chapter of Matthew because that's bookmark 1. Oh, she's moving again. That makes it a bit easier for me. And then bookmark 2, you are reading the first chapter of Genesis. So you're flipping from New Testament to Old Testament, and when you start, you're reading the first chapter of each of the first books listed on your bookmark. And then the next night you read the second chapter. The next night you read the third chapter. Now the shortest read through is going to be Proverbs. No, sorry, my bad. It's not Proverbs, it's the book of Acts, which is the last one. That's bookmark 10, book of Acts, and that takes 28 days because there are 28 chapters in the book of Acts. And so when you get to the end of your bookmark, so in this case, when you get to the end of Acts, you go back to the beginning and you start at Acts 1 again. So after 28 days, on the 29th day, you go back to the first chapter of Acts. On this bookmark, for instance, this is going to take 78 days to get through all of these books of the Bible. When you get to the last chapter of Hebrews, you go back to the first chapter of Romans. So as you can see, when you complete the bookmark, get to the last chapter of the last book on a bookmark, you go back to the beginning. And that's why the same series of readings never repeats, because each bookmark takes a different amount of days to read. But you don't need to keep that in your head, because that really gets too confusing. All you need to do is go from chapter to chapter. So tomorrow night's readings for me, because I do this over night time. This is my before I go to sleep readings. This is what I do. So tomorrow night I will be reading chapter 5 of Ephesians. And I put a little sticky note there to remind me where I'm up to, because, I've got to keep track of 10 different books that I'm in at any one time. And so I put a little sticky note, and that reminds me, okay, so tomorrow when I start reading, I am reading chapter 5 of Ephesians. I'm reading chapter 24 of Matthew, because I've completed this and I'm back into Matthew again. I'm reading, chapter 42 of Jeremiah. And so you just keep doing it that way. And I'll just show you one other thing. I'm sitting up in bed here, so. The other thing that I do, and this is just something that I do personally, is I started keeping track on the chapters that I'm reading in this. This is my Bible reading tracker. So each time I complete my series of 10 chapters, I mark them off. So for instance, in the book of Acts, you can see since I started this tracker when I started the Horner Bible reading system, and I am currently on my 5th reading through the book of Acts since April, because I started this in April. And so I am now on my 5th reading through the book of Acts. So as you can see, I've marked off that I have read chapter 26. And if we go to Acts, in the Bible, you can see that my tab, my sticky note, is up to chapter 27. So that's where I'll be reading tomorrow night, well, tonight, because, it's like just hit 4 o'clock in the morning. And the other thing is, I had a thought. What was that thought? Oh my gosh, it's escaped me. Oh, some nights, now it can seem like, okay, 10 chapters a night, that's going to take such a long time. It can take between 30 minutes and 45 minutes, depending on the length of the chapters. Because in some cases, if we flip over to Psalms, this is Psalms, 2 nights ago, like last night, of course, I read 120, because I reached 120 days. But the night before, I read chapter 119, which, as we know, is the longest chapter in the Bible. So it took a lot longer for me to do the readings through 2 nights ago because of the length of Psalms 119. But the night before, the reading for Psalm was 117, which took like 10 seconds. So how long it takes you each night is going to depend on the length of the chapters. And some chapters are going to be longer than others. Some are going to be shorter, of course. And it is an amazing system. It really is. Like, I've been doing it for 4 months now, and I have loved it. And it gets easier. When I first started, it was a real struggle to try and get through 10 chapters without falling asleep, without feeling exhausted, without thinking, oh my gosh, especially when you're in the Old Testament, thinking, I don't understand half of this. And there are still moments of struggle, but it is a discipline, and it is a discipline that I have committed myself to. And so I'm really enjoying it, and I feel like it is so, it saturates my soul and with the Word of God. And I'm learning so much, and I'm retaining more than you would think you would retain, because I find myself remembering different things that I've read. Like if I'm in the Old Testament, when I was reading through 1st and 2nd Samuel, it was fascinating. It was such a vibrant story of the reign of King David, and I'm remembering these things, which is really helping me because I also teach a Bible study on Monday mornings. And so I really feel as if my knowledge of the Bible is growing because of this system. And you need to go into it aware of the fact that you are never going to get to the end. Not like any other Bible reading system where, you do your 30 days and at the end, yay, I made it, I did it, well done me. This is going to go on. I want this to go on for the rest of my life. And I also realise that at some point, like Professor Horner, after 30 years of doing this system, I will have read through the Bible multiple times. And this is what I want. I want to be so ensconced in the Word of God. And so this system works for me beautifully. It will not work for everybody. Be patient with yourself. Be understanding of the fact that it is not for everybody. But give it a try. Do as they say and try it for 30 days. And that will be one time through the book of Acts, and see how it goes for you. And you might find that this is a system that you love. And I pray that everybody is blessed, that takes the time to get into the Word of God in whatever way works for them. Be blessed, and you will be. I promise you. All right, God bless everybody. I love you, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.